Hi, in this video I'd like to explain a little of what I try to achieve in my arrangements. What's the inspiration behind the piece, the method, how certain effects and harmonies are realised. In short, I'd like to partially analyse it with you. As they say, it's all in the detail, and hopefully, like me, when you understand that detail by pulling it apart, it makes listening so much more rewarding and engaging when you know what you're listening out for. I guess my thoughts change and adapt as the arrangement progresses. I just wanted to lift the lid a little on what I do. Obviously, I can't go into every single decision in detail, but I'd like to highlight a few and try and shed some light. So let's dig in. This time I've chosen a song from one of my favourite decades for melodic composition, the 1930s. The song, a favourite of mine, is a beautiful ballad written by Benny Davis and Abner back in 1934. It's called There Goes My Heart. When I start the arranging journey with a new piece, I generally have no idea where we're heading. Nearly always it ends up veering in completely unforeseen directions. But as I work through the piece, new ideas present themselves and they take me down new, unimagined paths. I think that, well, for me, harmony content is vital. In my arrangements, harmonies, coupled with suitably appropriate registrations, are one of the best tools to really touch the listener. I always think that a good arrangement should be like a good story. It should go somewhere. It should have highs and lows and really try to touch the listener in some sort of way. If it's a ballad, it should really tug at the heartstrings. In this arrangement, for clarity, I've split the piece up into sections, like a storyboard. I'll try to explain a little of what I've arranged as I go through, and then I'll present the whole complete arrangement, including my video work, at the end. So stay tuned if you want to listen to the analysis or skip to the start of the complete video. I'll try and bookmark that start of the complete video arrangement at the top right hand side of the screen now, if you want to skip straight ahead. Okay then. Section 1. The introduction. I believe good introductions should do exactly that and introduce the song. Therefore, including main themes or recurring ideas, in my mind, are essential in a good intro. The main theme of this piece, if you're unfamiliar with it, is this. I've used the first 4 opening notes of the song as a recurring theme, here. This theme also happens again at bar 4, here, and also here. At the end of bar 6, you think it will launch into the main piece, but there's a false repeat of the theme here, and then some far out descending harmonies. Sorry, I can't resist them. And then at bar 10, there's that theme again, here. This time it's repeated slightly different, 3 times, here, here, and here. By the way, I absolutely love the harmony at the start of bar 10, here. Finally, the intro's done its job, the scene is set, and we now know what song's coming up, and we're ready to plunge in. And now, the start of the main first section. And please note that due to the fact I've chopped this arrangement up for the production of this analytical video, the bar numbers appear to restart at every new page section. So when I say bar 4 or bar 7, it's referring to the bars on the current page you're seeing, and not the bar numbers overall. Once again, this section starts with our main theme, here. But this time it's shadowed by a 6th in the accompaniment. Listen to those gorgeous strings swell in bar 4, here. And also please notice the descending bass line, here. moving in contrary motion. The beautiful arpeggiated chord at the start of bar 7 is highlighted by the use of a vibraphone, and once again in bars 10 and 11, here and here. I've chosen a touch-sensitive lead string on the lower to pick out the top notes of the accompaniment in bars 12, 13 and 14. So you have to really push hard and emphasise those top notes only on the accompaniment. In bars 16 and 7, notice the right hand, whilst holding onto the C on the upper, it stretches down to replay a variant of that theme again. Moving on, the third section, for contrast, has much more movement, achieved by the use of sequence percussion and a 4-pedal to the bar pedal pattern to keep things flowing. I wanted to create a soft brass ensemble with tight harmonies, as in the first bar, here. Notice the octave pedal glissando in the first bar, here. I love that effect. The soft brass ensemble is complemented by tuned percussion in the accompaniment. I wanted to keep things moving, so I decided to make the accompaniment as fluid as possible. Mid-bar 13, the rhythmic section comes to a close, and I especially like the discord between the fifth in the left hand and the raised fifth in the pedal on the first beat of the bar of 14 here. Next, the third section is where I wanted to build the arrangement, and as you see in bars 1 through 4 here, I'm working towards a dynamic key change. The first 2 chords start the change with some dramatic emotional chord swings that slowly but boldly lift you up from B flat major to C major here. Then at bar 3 you arrive on the 5th of the new key, C major, here. At the end of bar 4 there's a dynamic entry into the new key. The main theme is heard on the upper and a glissando is heard on the lower. Using a great big sound ensemble, this section, although in a simpler key, sounds very dramatic. I've used big brass in the accompaniment to really pick out that counter-melodic melody here. This emphasis on the moving accompaniment counter-melodic line here continues and builds up even more to the end of this section. And finally, we come to the ending. The highs and lows of an expressive arrangement are essential. It's the tension and the emotion that pulls at your heartstrings. The musical feeling of having the rug pulled from under you, or being perched on a high cliff edge, suspended in the air in slow motion, waiting for that drop. You can achieve these contrasting dramatic effects by really building something up, as in the last sample page, then reaching the climax at full volume, and then have as long as rest or as pause as you can get away with. It's like leaving the listener floating or suspended. A neat technique is to follow with a completely opposite, simple sound. The effect is so sweet, and because there's so little going on, your ears hear every detail. It's because you're expecting more of the big stuff from the previous section. Your ears are still set at maximum volume input and expect more of the same. And when that doesn't happen, it makes the listener concentrate, focus, and listen carefully. That's when you really appreciate the subtleties, the harmonies, and the true dance between melody and harmony. I always think it's a good idea to go out a similar way you came in. For me, it seems neat. So in bar 1 on this page, after all the big stuff on the previous section, we come in with our solo trombone again, as we started, here. The entire arrangement comes to a close at bars 3 and 4 with a soft held chord and bass, whilst the right hand repeats that theme again 3 times, 3 different octaves, here, here, and here. One final thing, on the last note of each repeated theme, here, here, and here I've assigned a tune chime on each note. Well, that was epic. I hope you enjoyed this little glimpse into one of my arrangements. If you did, please leave a comment and maybe I'll do more. Well, maybe. Until the next one. Bye for now.